My brother-in-law is the reason why my husband left me. I don't know what to do. I, female 38, met my brother-in-law, male 38, at uni. He asked me out in our first year, and I refused. He called me the C word and said that I'm shallow. My best friend told me that it was a harmless comment from a drunken guy who got rejected. I never thought myself shallow. It was his demeanor and awkwardness that was off-putting to me. Anyway, he proved my friend right, and other than these comments, I've never felt uncomfortable during my uni years because he never bothered me again. Not even looked my way. Next time I met him was when my baby sister, female 28, introduced him as her boyfriend. I didn't even recognize him at first because it was like 9 to 10 years since that day that he talked to me. He was visibly annoyed that I didn't recognize him and called me a liar. The family was skeptical at first about him, but he seemed to treat my sister right, and she seemed happy. He is very rich, taking her all over the world, and he seemed kind too. They got married after a year of dating, and they now have 3 children. I met my now ex, male 40, 5 years ago, and the only odd comment from my brother-in-law was that I was still as shallow and superficial as I was at uni. At the time, I took it as a joke, but in hindsight, when I found out the truth and started thinking back, looking for red flags, this was probably a big one. He never showed any signs that he disliked my husband, and he was always decent enough. And his indifference to have a close friendship with my husband and I didn't seem odd because he was always a recluse. A year ago, my husband came home and accused me of cheating, and he had evidence. The guy contacted him and he had nudes, etc., of me on his phone. The guy told my husband that he didn't know at first that I was married, but as soon as he found out, he contacted my now ex. He even apologized to my husband. I have never met this guy in my life, but nothing I said or did made my husband believe me. He left me, and our divorce is pending. Then yesterday, that guy contacted me. He apologized for what he did and told me that he's friends with my brother-in-law. He sent me conversations. Endless conversations that my brother-in-law had about me for years. He has never forgotten that I, in his words, didn't even give him a chance and only judged him by his looks. He called me the C word in that chat. Both group chats with his friends, but mostly with this guy. They planned this attack, and my brother-in-law somehow got access to my photos. The reason this guy contacted me now is that he felt guilty because even when my marriage is over, my brother-in-law still was angry and hateful, especially when he heard that I was on a date last weekend. So the friend felt that he didn't help his friend, but ruined innocent people's lives. I'm not sure what to do. My brother-in-law has actually been happier and more sociable than usual since my divorce, and now I know why, although first I thought that he felt sorry and wanted to support me. His jokes about me ending up an old maid with cats as companions doesn't sound like jokes anymore. He meant them. I don't want to ruin my sister's life. She's very happy with her husband. I'm not even sure if I can with her husband. I'm not sure if I should tell my ex or not. I am very heartbroken that he didn't believe me. I love him very much. He is the love of my life, but I'm not sure if I can forgive him for not believing me. But he's a victim in this too, so maybe he needs to know for closure. I am so terribly sad and hurt. I'm sorry this post got very long. In the comments, why wouldn't you tell your sister that her husband is batshit crazy? OP says, I'm scared to be honest. He probably only married her to get close to you. She needs to know. It wouldn't shock me if this guy found your sister and is dating her just to remain close to you. It feels too coincidental that he somehow popped back up in your life and then got mad that you didn't remember him. OP replies, I feel so too. It makes it even worse. Then do you think her happiness is real or based on a lie? Because the chances are that it's all a lie to get closer to you. Contact your ex and explain what you've been told. Then contact your sister and be honest with her. Those kids deserve better. In this situation, this guy feels so crazy that the obvious answer has to be the simplest and easiest one, which is that he is doing this as revenge on OP because he is somehow obsessed with her out of all the people he could have been obsessed with. Because if it's not that, it's really hard to explain his behavior. I think the best thing for OP to do in this situation is to bring all that evidence out and expose him. He deserves it. I don't know why she's so hesitant to act when he has already dismantled her life and he's loving it. Please, OP, out this man. And now, onto the update. I'm sorry that I've been gone for too long, and I'm overwhelmed by the support that you have given me here. Some of you still are asking about me. I don't know where to start. I've been in constant pain and stress about everything that happened, but my brother-in-law is now exposed to everyone about what he did to me. For those of you who think he is in love with me, he isn't. He very much hates my guts and has done since the day that I rejected him. Hate is also a driving force, and not only love. So for the stupid users, that I would like to call losers, who made fun of me about it, bragging about a man not being over me in 20 years? That's not it. If this is bragging, then you're actually very sick in the head. Unfortunately, I was sent these comments from a different sub about updates. I don't know. What a bunch of losers. I was in constant fear that my brother-in-law would be hurting my sister because of me, and I'm not certain if he will. But that was the only reason that I've been apathetic. I wasn't sure what the right step was with people like him. He has hidden his hatred so well for so long, so what more is he capable of? I didn't want my sister and her children to be the collateral damage. That's why I've been careful. I'm sorry to disappoint you by not being the strong bad bitch. I have other priorities. My sister and I finally talked. I love her and her children very much. She seemed just very hurt and questioning her entire marriage, and who can blame her? I tried the baby steps approach. I wanted her to know that I was there for her, and I was honest with her about my worries about her and her children with a man like him. It worked for a while, and I was being hopeful, but something changed, and it probably had to do with her husband giving her an ultimatum. Divorce or cut your family off. She chose her marriage. It broke my parents and I, but I don't think that we can do anything about it. It's her own choice, even if we believe that it's coerced. But maybe there's this little chance that she knows him better than we do. There's the little hope that he is a better person towards his family. I am clinging onto that hope. She wrote us, telling us to forget that she and her children existed, and that she will take legal action if we ever tried to contact them. Brother-in-law deleted all his social media accounts, and his friends apparently all want nothing to do with him. I have heard that he is planning on leaving the city because everyone knows what he did now, and he's having a hard time with it. He barely leaves the house, and he's been shamed, even at work. My ex-husband and I are moving on with the divorce. I don't blame him for believing the rumors, but at the same time, I wish he knew me better like I thought he did. That I would never do such a thing and cheat on him. I'm so sorry that he moved back for me and probably was hoping that we could give it another chance, but I can't. He has apologized so many times and said so many times that he never truly believed the rumors, but I've started to think that our marriage wasn't strong enough to overcome a rumor. It's nobody's fault, but I thought that our love was stronger than it actually was. I think we both thought that. I've started dating a new guy a few weeks before all this started, after over a year of me not being able to leave bed. He has seen all of this unfolding and has been very patient and supportive. I think I have a real shot at happiness now. At least he knows everything and is well prepared in case my brother-in-law isn't done with me yet. Thank you for reading all this, and thank you again for being there for me. And now onto update 2. Hi. I can't believe that you guys are still DMing me on an almost weekly basis to ask about my situation with my sister and ex-husband. I'm so sorry for not answering you, but I've not been here in almost 2 years now. Here is my update. I have moved away. It was the best thing that I could do for my sanity. This was after my brother-in-law cornered me after work one day, demanding that we would talk. He would not let my arm go, and I even had a blue mark on my wrist from where he held me. I felt terrified and started crying. He asked me to take back everything because he's losing his reputation and people are calling him a creep and an incel, and to give him a chance to talk because I've never given him a chance because I'm a C-word. A colleague called the police, but nothing happened afterwards. I reported him for harassment, and it was dismissed. There was no grounds for a PO either. My sister wants nothing to do with me. She has also participated in saying that I did cheat, and I guess she's saving face with her husband. My parents weren't allowed to talk to her at first, but now they have a good relationship again, under the condition that they cut me off, which they did. I don't blame them. She has her children, and honestly, she and her children are in more need of protection than me. I haven't seen my mum in about a year. I miss my sister, her children, and my parents, but that's that. My ex-husband and I have finalized our divorce. It was the best decision for us, even though my brother-in-law won. He didn't win, though. He is still hateful and bitter. I told him and my sister that whatever happens to me will never be enough for his ego because he will always be angry that he never had me. This was what made my sister block me for good and my parents to take her side. I don't blame them. Now I'm living in a new city with my boyfriend. I have no contact with any of my family. My ex said that I ruined his life. I hope he forgives me too, but I never ruined anything on purpose. I'm starting to find happiness again. My new job is amazing, and I still have friends back home on top of the new friends that I made here. My boyfriend is amazing, supporting me in all of this. His family has become my family, and they took me in with open arms. We live closer to them now. Brother-in-law has never tried to contact or talk to or about me again. I guess all is well now. In the comments, these are the ones by OP. I'm child-free. That's one of the reasons that I guess, because if there was a chance I would have children, I don't think they would have wanted to burn this bridge. No. It was easy. It was either that, or my sister and her children are left to the mercy of a man that is capable of doing anything. I don't fault them. My mother especially. She knows I'm strong. When asked if OP would forgive their family, she says, "Not my sister, but I would welcome my parents back. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. One gave them grandchildren. I think we need to be grandparents to see how hard it is to live without them, especially when they are aware that their dad is a terrible human being capable of doing anything, but I will never forgive my sister. He is dangerous and cowardly, which makes him even more dangerous when he came to my workplace. He tried to run away when the police came, and he also tried to run away when my ex-husband went to confront and beat him up." About why the ex-husband is mad with OP, it is very complicated, but he left his girlfriend and moved back, thinking that we would reconnect. It didn't happen. Cole like coleslaw says, "I love that everyone in this woman's life is just dogpiling on her for just existing. How dare she try to live life while other people have to suffer the consequences of their own actions?" The irony is never going to stop being funny. Yes, it is funny in hindsight, regarding OP's situation. She moved on and got out as happily ever after as it gets due to actions and reactions of those that completely instigate it, brother-in-law, fell for the scam, ex, enabling, sister, or condoning and excusing, the parents. It's as you said, they are all suffering the consequences of their actions and reactions while they can't further cause any more devastating drama trauma up close nor long distance on OP. It's like, I got a new man, a found family, living in a great city I love, missing my nibblings, but they are not enough for me to suffer the fuckery again. I hope all of you stay being miserable and screwed with your life choices that you forced on me that fucked up your lives way more than mine. Couldn't agree more. It is what it is. Those are the things that they chose to do in that point in time. The only redeemable ones here really are the parents, because I can completely empathize with what they're going through. Even though they were forced to cut OP off in this instance, for them that was the right choice to make. Because if they don't, that poor woman stuck with him is put at even more danger without a support system because he is isolating them, and those poor children will suffer more harm and potentially escalating abuse without some oversight of the household. I know people are going to be like, it's shameful that they did that. How dare they? They should have sided with OP in this instance. Yes, yeah, they should have sided with OP in this instance. But then would you also yell at them for allowing their daughter to be abused and their children to be abused? Sorry that I'm arguing with myself here, but I just feel like I see people siding with abusers in this situation because people aren't perfect and they don't make the choices that other people think are correct. Which I would argue, the parents making this choice in this situation is the correct thing for them to do. Everyone else bar OP made the wrong choice, including the sister. The sister should have divorced this man straight away and got the hell away from him when she got all of that evidence. Yet she chooses to stay with an abuser. I don't like that. She is an idiot for doing so, and she will have to learn the hard way when his abuse escalates, and then she is forced to divorce this man. Thank you for the story, and thank you for the update, OP. Our next post is by user Luakidge, and it's titled, My 32 female, boyfriend 36 male of 8+ years won't marry me. So I've been with my boyfriend for 8.5 years, and we've been living together at his apartment for 5 years. Like any long relationship, we've had our ups and downs, but in the last 2 years, everything has been great. I know he is my person, and I am his. He's a great guy. Not just to me, but to friends, family, and strangers. Cares a lot about me, shows affection, communicates well, has financially supported me while I finished my degree, and we have a great time together, both on a daily life basis and on special events like travels and all. We pretty much are already living a married life without kids, but that alone doesn't fulfill my dream of marriage. I want a celebration of our love. I want to share this moment with our friends and family. I want to be a bride and plan this major life event with him, and I've voiced this to him a few times. A few years back, he was unsure of our future together, but we've worked on our relationship and are in a great place. So now when I talk about planning a wedding and marriage, he seems to be on board with it. At least he entertains my thoughts, but so far, I haven't seen a ring. I've kind of given him 2 ultimatums. I won't invest any money into buying a bigger place together if we are not married. We've been cramped in his bachelor pad for the last 5 years and are getting tired of it. And I won't celebrate double digits of being boyfriend and girlfriend, but even that seems like too long of a stretch now. But honestly, I don't think I have the courage to walk out of an otherwise perfect relationship, so I just keep dragging this and building resentment with every anniversary, with every time that I see the surprised faces of people who ask how long we've been dating, and with every wedding of people in our circle. I just feel stuck, while everyone else around us is moving on with their lives. How do I get him to finally propose, or at least admit that he won't ever do it so I can be free of these bad feelings of uncertainty? In the comments, Kitten says, You don't mention here why he doesn't want to get married or what he says when you bring up marriage. Besides, a few years back, he was unsure of our future together. I feel like this is very relevant information. OP replies, 4 years ago, we were not so good, but just living with it like everything was fine. Everything came spiraling down when I finally asked him about our future plans for marriage, so we couldn't just ignore it anymore, and he said that he wasn't happy with how things were between us, so he could see himself in a lifelong commitment with me. That was a really hard conversation, but we both worked to better ourselves and our relationship, and are in a great place now. Since this, he has never said that he doesn't want to get married. I haven't asked him directly like this again, but we talk about future plans like buying a bigger place together, and that's when I said I won't buy anything while I'm legally single, and he agreed. Kitten replies to that, I feel like, I really want to get married, what are your feelings on marriage? Seems important to ask, considering that you felt blindsided by him before. This shouldn't be a 1 in every 4 years conversation. Alignment on your future should be continuous. Bluntly put, you can't make him do anything. Confront him and have an honest conversation about it. You want marriage, full stop. If he doesn't, then you're better off walking away. Exactly. It really comes down to whether both people want the same future. You can't drag someone into marriage. It has to be mutual. Otherwise, resentment just grows. Edit for clarification and things that have come up in the comments. I'm not from the US, so maybe it's a wedding culture thing here, but where I'm from, we just love a good party. Any party. When the reason for it is to celebrate the love and union of two people, it really brings people together in a very unique way. It always gets me emotional, even as just a guest. That's what I love about it and dream of having as a bride. There's nothing to do with having a big fancy event to post on social media and live my Disney princess dreams. Even the ring thing. I was talking about it figuratively. It isn't a tradition for the men to just get the fiancé an engagement ring. This just got popular here recently. Usually they both get their wedding bands and wear it on the right hand until the wedding. Legally, I'm sure that there are differences between my country and the US, but marriage pretty much affects the same aspects of our lives. Even roommates have contracts, their names on a lease or something. I don't have any legal ties to him right now. I understand that some people can live together for years without it, but for me, this is important to feel secure about our future together. And about kids, since the beginning, I knew that I didn't want any, and he didn't have a strong opinion about it and was okay with anything that I decided. We still talk about having kids to check on each other and see where we're at on this matter. I've been having second thoughts, and he is still on board if I decide I do want to, but that's not the reason that I'm upset that I'm not married after 8 years together. I haven't asked him directly if he wants to get married and why recently, so I haven't gotten a straight answer since a few years back when it was a no. I've been just casually touching on the subject to try to get a glimpse of where he's at, and he seems positive, acknowledging that we are in a much better place now that we worked on those issues. So after reading all the comments that I really wasn't expecting to get, I realized the next logical thing is to have a direct and honest conversation with him. I just need to figure out how to approach it. We have a big trip coming up next month, so I'll probably wait after that. Thank you all so much for your input and advice. I appreciate all perspectives. I think we just see situations like this all the time, and it can go many ways. It really can. If he does have a change of heart, absolutely, let 1,000 blossoms bloom. But again, I just feel like we've seen so many shut-up ring stories, especially one eerily similar to this one. Wasn't it like 7 years of dating, and she thought she was going to get a shut-up ring at a restaurant dinner that they were having, but instead he just got her a necklace or a bracelet? And that resulted in OP just breaking up with him on the spot because how insulting. Especially after so much talk of getting engaged and getting married and him just batting it off and being like, yeah, it'll happen eventually, don't worry, it will, and then it never happens. There comes a time where you do need to set an ultimatum for these things, especially in countries where there isn't common law relationships or marriage or whatever it is, where you're not married, but if you've lived together enough time, legally, you have that connection as a married couple would. We have that here in Australia. I completely understand where OP is coming from in this situation, and I do think, based on my experience reading about this so much with many very similar situations, it is time for that ultimatum. You gotta force it out of him. You can't just keep ignoring this one. And now, on to the update. I debated posting an update because now that everything is resolved, I feel kind of silly about posting in the first place, but maybe this can find someone in a similar situation and help. I should add that I'm an overthinker and an anxious person, and this is probably why I got here in the first place. After 8+ years of relationship, I started doubting our future only because of the lack of initiative on his part, and it's like all the algorithms decided to feed these feelings with similar stories that didn't end well. OP, that doesn't discount your experience. You could have just as likely been in the same situation as these people. So I started overthinking everything and basically ignored all the signs that we were doing great, like his constant reassurance that he loved me and was happy with me, when he would look at me with mesmerized eyes while just going about our daily life. I felt so loved and cared for, but the lack of a proposal had to mean something was wrong, right? A week before our big trip, while introducing the topic of marriage, trying to start a conversation like I was advised here, he was really dismissive, trying to change subject, and that sent me spiraling down on anxious thoughts. When he realized that hurt me, he immediately backtracked, started apologizing, and said that he was only avoiding the subject because he had something planned and wanted it to be a surprise. When he asked on other occasions, months before, he had confirmed his intentions of marrying me one day, but this time was different. It was enough to lift any doubt that I had, and I also didn't want to ruin any surprise, so I dropped the subject. Then, as expected, during our trip in a beautiful place, doing what we always loved doing together these past 8 years, he proposed. It was one of those moments that I felt really seen, like everything was thought out to make me happy without me having to ask for it. He even managed to record it in the most unsuspicious way, so I'll always have something to remember it. So this update is to say that every relationship is different and every life has a different timeline. There isn't any amount of years that automatically tells you that the other person doesn't want to get married. Obviously, I'm not saying to ignore any signs, but you have to look inside the relationship rather than compare to others and seek external validation. Even though most comments on the original post went in a different direction, I probably wouldn't have started that conversation with him when I did, and wouldn't have been so relaxed during our trip when he proposed. So I appreciate you guys for that. In the comments, Plastic Donut says, I just read a post earlier about a guy who had been trying to propose to his girlfriend. He kept offering to pay for her to get her nails done, and stuff kept getting in the way. I felt so sorry for him because he was trying to do it exactly how she wanted, and she kept accidentally sabotaging it. As soon as you said he was dismissive before the trip, I knew what he was planning. I'm glad that it all worked out for you. Congratulations. And I am too, OP. I'm glad that it did go the way you wanted, that communication was kept healthy, even though this did genuinely take you by surprise and you were unsure before all of this. I still stick to the notion that dismissiveness before the trip could have gone any which way. Because in that same situation where OP was given a shut-up necklace, not even a shut-up ring, her partner was dismissive for quite a long time before that. But maybe her relationship wasn't the same in regards to yours, where you guys were so loving and reassuring and openly communicative to each other the whole time. Everyone's relationships are different. Everyone faces different challenges. I'm very glad it worked out well for you in this one, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your days with someone that is going to put you first. Thank you for the story, and thank you for the update, OP. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.